Hello, I'm Rex Litha with Sunday's News. In this edition, Pacific Police Band officially open. Security concerns after Highlands Day, and PNG lost to Solomon Islands. The 2025 Pacific Police Band Tattoo, hosted by the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, officially opened at Ella Beach in the nation's capital today. The event is part of RPNGC's commemoration of Papua New Guinea's 50th independence anniversary celebrations.
Members of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary initiated a parade to officially open the 2025 Pacific Police Band Tattoo at Ella Beach today. The parade was witnessed by Port Moresby residents and other Pacific Islanders, including the police hierarchy and other executives. The 2025 Pacific Police Band Tattoo is part of RPNGC's commemoration of PNG's 50th independence anniversary celebration. The actual event will take place on Tuesday, July 22nd, when 9 Pacific Island countries, including PNG, will take part in a police band parade and musical concert at Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. NCD Governor Pius Pakop was the reviewing officer of the parade. Pakop said the hosting of the event marks a significant milestone in the journey of Papua New Guinea and highlights the important role RPNGC plays in safeguarding that journey 50 years on.
The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary is as whole as our nation, as our country, as this contemporary entity called Papua New Guinea. And it shows the significance and important role that Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary plays in putting together this nation.
Pakop said RPNGC is the oldest institution in PNG. It was established prior to independence. Therefore, the institution is vital in nation building.
The Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary was put together during colonial time. We can mark the year 1902. This is the time when the British government was here during colonial time and put together the foundation of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary.
The governor said the police force in PNG continues to face many challenges, but urged the members to perform their duties to the best of their abilities 50 years on. Meanwhile, members of the Special Service Division, Dog Unit, and Water Police displayed an exhibition drill to signify the important role members of the force play in providing policing duties to the people of Papua New Guinea. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
Yesterday, the air in Madang was of patriotism as the town woke up as early as 7 a.m. and lined the streets to welcome the 19-man troop from the 2 RPIR Moem barracks who travelled 390 kilometers from East Sepik on foot, reaching Madang on Thursday. It took the 19 men 8 days to reach Madang.
The march into Madang town was coloured with residents supporting the procession of the 2 RPIR soldiers escorted by Madang police and correctional officers. After the reception and the handing over of the baton to the engineering battalion of IGAM, the patriotic crowd escorted the procession onto the main highway out of the province. Dubbed Exercise Anap Longall 2025, this exercise reenacts the 1975 exercise of passing on a message from Wewak to Port Moresby. According to the commanding officer of the engineering battalion at IGAM Barracks, Velmo Kagena, who was there with his men to take on the second leg of the walk, This is the fourth exercise since 1975. Lieutenant Colonel Kagena congratulated the two RPIR troops for their resilience in completing the first leg, and now Igam Barracks will take on another 325 kilometers, approximately 12 days, starting in Medang and ending this leg at the Markham Bridge, Leh.
This is now the fourth walk that is taking place under this exercise Anap Longall banner. This walk is to remind Papua New Guinea that the Papua New Guinea Defence Force is an enduring state entity that is here to provide and protect the safety and security and sovereignty of this country from all forms of threat and violence.
Lieutenant Colonel Kagena also gave a brief rundown of the walk and the significance behind it when they arrive and march into Port Moresby on September 1st.
And for the PNG Defence Force to keep going after 50 years in our current state, as we look forward to building this defence force for your people and for the country. Baiklah handover lo, narpla unit lo, Papua Defence Force, or by Kisim lo hat, lo Markham Bridge, na Kalabim, wow, Bulldog Trek, na Gorono Gulf Province, 1st Royal Pacific Islands Regiment, or by Kisim lo Gulf Province, na Go Peninsula Port Moresby.
Medang Provincial Administrator Daniel Alloy, whilst welcoming the two RPIR and IGAM teams, stated that everyone can learn from this experience in building the nation towards the 50th anniversary and beyond. This experience had truly brought about patriotism and unity in Medang town. Lieutenant Colonel Kagena thanked Alloy for the warm welcome and the unexpected reception to host the soldiers before they moved on. Major Ellison Garessa, the two RPIR's second-in-command, emphasized on the country's diversity and how everyone can use this as a positive stepping stone and strength to achieve prosperity. Beyond Correctional Services, Commander Jackson Gubab stated that this event drew a large crowd and has also brought in the spirit of independence early and what it would mean to be celebrating the country's 50 years of independence. He added that despite differences within government factions and the disparity of opinions between the public and leaders, it was appealing to see everyone together celebrating in unity. Carol Kido Jr., TV1 News.
The third PNG Story celebration, Highlands Day, drew thousands to Sir Hubert Murray Stadium yesterday, with a full day of cultural festivities that honor the rich traditions of Highlands region.
The event, organized by the NCD Governor's Office and NCDC, marked another major celebration on the road to Papua New Guinea's 50th independence anniversary. The day opened with a float parade led by UPNG Highlands students representing each Highlands province. The colorful convoy traveled from the UPNG campus to the stadium, setting the tone for a spirited celebration ahead. Once at the stadium, attendees were treated to traditional performances. Music, food stalls and cultural displays that highlighted the vibrant identity of the Highlands people. Local artists delivering their hit songs brought the crowd to their feet, with the likes of the beautiful Esta Pacifica, legendary Eastern Highlands singer Nokondi Nama, performing one of his hits, Mary Kabiufa, Southern Highlands' very own Augustine Emile, and many other great artists as well. The event was free, attracting a massive turnout of families, youths and elders, and opportunities seized to celebrate their culture in the heart of Port Moresby. Carol Kido Jr., TV1 News.
Unfortunately, the night descended into chaos, with vehicles towed by crowds attempting to force entry into the stadium. A police vehicle was among those attacked, and several civilians were injured and rushed to the hospital, While Highlands Day successfully celebrated culture and identity, the lack of crowd control and security response capacity exposed serious concerns for future large-scale public events. Prime Minister James Marape has defended the value of his official visit to the United States and the United Kingdom, as well as other similar prior engagements, affirming that such engagements are integral to Papua New Guinea's diplomatic and development objectives ahead and beyond the nation's 50th anniversary celebrations.
In addressing the opposition's criticisms of the trips as lavish and unnecessary, Marape highlighted that diplomatic travel is a fundamental duty of government leadership aimed at promoting national interest. The Prime Minister argued that these diplomatic missions are essential for fostering international relationships, attracting investment, and advancing the country's development goals. He highlighted the importance of building partnerships with major powers like the United States and the United Kingdom, which can lead to beneficial agreements and support for Papua New Guinea's evolving economic landscape. The Prime Minister's comments reflect a broader understanding of how small nations navigate international relations, advocating that participation in global discussions and cooperation is vital for the country's future. He reiterated that such engagements are not for personal gain, but serve the larger objective of progressing Papua New Guinea's diplomatic, economic, and developmental aspirations. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
This is TVWAN News. After the break, Gigi strengthens PNG-German relations and Marape on national economy.
From the rich soils of the Highlands, the finest coffee has been grown by generations of Papua New Guineans, expertly blended and roasted with over 80 years of experience, making the finest cup of Nescafe New Guinea blend, PNG's own coffee.
Open net.
PNG's favorite soft drink now in bottles. GoSport brings you fresh, bold flavors in brand new 500ml bottles. Taste the rainbow. More freshness, more flavor, more fun. Lime, orange, raspberry, and pineapple. Proudly made in PNG. Proudly GoSport.
Cold Pal Lemon is tough on stains and gentle on clothes. Cold Pal Lemon has a great lemon fragrance which brightens your clothes and gives that extra freshness that lasts all day long. Cold Power Lemon, tough on stains, gentle on clothes, with extra freshness.
Welcome back. Papua New Guinea's Governor-General Grand Chief Sir Bob Dadai has concluded a historic visit to Germany, where he held high-level talks with President Frank-Walter Steinmeier and toured key cultural institutions in Berlin. The visit marks an important step in reaffirming diplomatic, historical and cultural ties between the two nations.
Governor-General of Papua New Guinea Sir Bob Dadai was welcomed with full military honours as he paid a courtesy call on German President Dr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, TT Bellevue Palace in Berlin. The two leaders discussed long-standing bilateral ties, climate change, the Bougainville Peace Agreement, and Germany's colonial legacy in PNG, including ongoing efforts to identify land records from the former German New Guinea. Sir Bob reaffirmed PNG's support for Germany's bid for a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council in 2027 to 2028 and invited German investment in PNG's resource sector. The Governor-General also toured the Humboldt Forum's Ethnological Museum, where he viewed more than 500,000 artifacts, including valuable cultural items from the Sepik, Morbe, New Ireland and Gulf regions of Papua New Guinea. He later visited the Federal Archives, where early German colonial land records from Medang and East New Britain were showcased. PNG's Lands Commission is now in talks with German authorities to access and digitize those historical records. Sir Bob's visit coincided with celebrations marking PNG's 50th independence and the 138-year connection between the Lutheran churches of both nations. Carol Kido Jr., TV1 News.
Prime Minister James Marape has officially commissioned the MV IBK, a new landing craft barge representing the people of Ihu, Baimuru and Kikori, and launched the Kikori District 5-year development plan at a ceremony held at Fairfax Wharf last Friday. Under the theme, Charting Our Way, One Development Plan, One People, One Vessel, the event marked a significant milestone in Gulf Province's development journey.
The IBK is set to enhance connectivity and economic participation for coastal communities, linking them to markets, services, and opportunities across the southern region and Papua New Guinea. Prime Minister James Marape last Friday commissioned the vessel at Fairfax Harbour in Port Moresby. The Prime Minister emphasized that the vessel will support local enterprise, including the transport of sago, crab, fish, and other produce to urban markets.
You are an important strategic part of our country, and I want to say, unfortunately, you have been left to the sidewalk for so long. And this must change. It is changing for the better. And I want to say thank you to the Kikori people for your extreme patience in the way you've been able to hold up and be patient with the country as you continue to host important national assets. The Kumul terminal, now that is refurbished, is hosted in the Gulf waters and Kikori people principally. The pipeline for Kurubu and now PNG LNG comes from the mountains of Papua New Guinea and sinks into the waters of Gulf, coming all the way to Port Moresby.
The launch of the Kikori District 5-year development plan outlines strategic infrastructure priorities, including jetties in Turama and Kikori, road upgrades, and improved airstrips. Marape reaffirmed the importance of district development authorities, or DDAs, in tailoring solutions to local needs.
Needs in Kikori is different from the needs up there in Tari. Tari, I don't need ship. I need roads and vehicles. Kikori needs ship, boats, roads, airstrip, and everything else. That's a pointer to everyone out there, especially the white-collar critics who live in Port Moresby, who do not understand the hardships faced by our people in the remotest part of our country and throughout our country.
Gulf Fisheries Services was acknowledged as a key private sector partner in operating MVIBK across the southwest Papuan region of the country. Marape also assured the public that work on the Karamakikori Road, supported by Chinese funding, will resume soon. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Meantime, Prime Minister James Marape also addressed the national economic progress, noting that over the past 6 years, districts have received between 70 to 80 million kina from Waigani national government. He reiterated the government's commitment to the Kina for Kina policy, which rewards districts that actively implement their development plans.
Needs throughout our country vary from district to district. The fact that we have ineffective, inefficient public service to deliver service throughout our country compels the leadership on the ground to making sure that they supervise work that needs to be done. The last 6 years, to complement this structure, we've transferred from Waigani, easily as I calculate without notes and from the top of my head, easily the last 6 years, all districts throughout our country would have received minimum 70 to 80 million kina transferred from Waigani to the districts. If no work is happening, don't ask James Marape when I go to US or UK for national interest. You ask the member that is mouthing off. Even if he's in opposition, ask him. We've been fair to the opposition as much as we've been to government. Opposition districts have received money, and government districts have received money. Money have gone from Waigani to the districts. Up to this year, we have given almost 5 million kina to all districts for this year.
You're watching TVWAN News. Sport is next. Stay tuned.
Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up and big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Brush to the beat with Colgate for healthy teeth. Brush twice a day for 2 minutes, that's all you need. Brush to the Colgate beat. Come on now everybody, join in on the fun for long-lasting healthy teeth. 2 minutes of brushing twice a day, bright smiles, bright futures with Colgate. Brush to the Colgate teeth. Come on now, everybody. Join in on the fun for long-lasting, healthy teeth.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Welcome back. In sports, the Solomon Islands have defeated Papua New Guinea 3-2 after extra time at HFC Bank Stadium in Suva, winning the OFC Women's Nations Cup 2025 title and their first crown. Thrice, the Solomon Islands took the lead, but twice PNG 10 women Papua New Guinea reeled them back and forced the game to extra time, where SI's substitute Jemina David scored a winner to secure a piece of history. The Solomon Islands became the 5th different nation to win the OFC Women's Nations Cup, etching themselves into the record books. Playing in their first ever OFC Women's Nations Cup final, the Solomon Islands weren't overawed by the occasion and got off to a hot start under the lights in Suva. Lorena Solosaya had scored the goal when the Solomon Islands held Papua New Guinea to a draw during the OFC Olympic qualifying tournament last year and was the first to have a say in the final. In the 18th minute, she laced onto a loose ball through the middle of the pitch before advancing into the box and in her nation a shock lead. PNG were behind on the scoreboard, except this time they had a whole second half ahead of them with just 10 players on the pitch. Despite the odds, the defending champions still pushed forward in numbers in search of a response. Captain Ramona Padio stood up again when needed most to level the final back up, scoring her second goal in the 65th minute. PNG playing with 10 players came to fruition, though allowing substitute Jemina David to pounce for a Solomon Islands 4 minutes into the start of the extra half hour. Played in behind by Eileen Peggy, slotted the ball past PNG to give the Solomon Islands the lead for the third time, and for most importantly, the final time. The Solomon Islands slowed the game down and managed the remainder of the extra time to seal a historic win and the nation's greatest ever footballing achievement in the women's game. Samoa has secured third place at the OFC Women's Nations Cup 2025 with a 2-0 win over tournament host Fiji at HFC Bank Stadium in Suva yesterday. Fiji huffed and puffed for long stages but couldn't find a way past Samoan goalkeeper Kemi Anaya and were made to rue many missed chances as 2 early goals carried Samoa to victory. It marks Samoa's highest finish at the OFC Women's Nations Cup, beating their previous best effort of 4th from the 2022 edition. Positioned 20 places below Fiji on the FIFA rankings, Samoa stunned the tournament host early on with a special display finish. Fiji tried to conjure a response before the break, but Samoa proved hard to beat. Fiji continued to prod and poke through the closing stages, but couldn't find a way through as Samoa held on to close out their campaign with a historic win. Digicel ExxonMobil Cup competition round 14 matches were completed yesterday with a double-header each in Port Moresby and in Minge, and a match each in Kimber and Rabaul. The 2 football clubs that made headlines last week due to ill discipline, Garokula Hanis and Mandy Muruks, fielded some new faces but did well in their matches. PRK Mandy Muruks showed great character and edged out PRK Gulf Iso 19 points to 14 in the fierce clash in Port Moresby. The win means Mandy Muruks will enjoy another week at the top of the competition table. The later match at the Santos National Football Stadium saw NPL Angamioks held off Port Moresby Vipers at home 14 points to 10 in a close match. Up in the Highlands, the reigning champions Mount Hagen Eagles punished Garoka Lahanis 18 points to 14. The visiting Lahanis led the host in the first half, but the Eagles fought back for the much-needed victory. The other match at the John Amban Oval witnessed Ella Wigman and Wagitube drew 18 all. Both teams showed great sportsmanship, and the scoreline was the reflection of the fair contest. In Queen Elizabeth Park in Rabaul, the Egma Gurius dismantled Central Dabaris 36 points to 16. The win keeps Gurius in the top 3 of the points ladder, a promising development of the new head coach, Wartovo Puara Jr. The West New Britain Kimber Cutters couldn't get the win at home as the visiting Lay Snakes Tigers came out winners 20 points to 16 at Peter Humphreys Oval in Kimber. At the close of round 14, Mandy Muruks maintained top spot with Tigers and Gurius on second and third spots respectively and could finish at the top. The Lahanis, Wigman and Vipers rounds up the top 6. Iso, Eagles, Tumbe and Mioks have chances of breaking into the top 6 should they win enough matches in the remaining rounds. The Dabaris and Cutters seasons look set but is all likely over. Round 14 of the DGCL ExxonMobil Cup ended on a high note, with more actions expected in round 15 this weekend. And now the weather forecast. In regional forecast for the next 24 hours, Southern region scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of heavy rain and potential flooding over Western Province. Momase, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of heavy rain and potential flooding over East and West Sepik provinces. New Guinea Islands region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of heavy rain and potential flooding for Arab, New Ireland and East New Britain provinces. And Highlands region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of heavy rain and potential flooding for Southern Highlands and Hela provinces. That ends the news tonight. Have a top week ahead. Good night.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by